press play. What is that? Wild new footage shows the illegal underground tunnel dug by a group of young Orthodox Jewish something. Expand the synagogue.
Oh, they have enough money. They don't need to dig to expand. Why are they?
Arrested 12 young men doing mayhem.
Seeing there's others that say it was 9.
Yeah, some said it was 9, some said it was 10, some said it was up to 15 or 12. Imagine these dozen causing collapse of buildings. I have questions. Yeah, I mean, you know, if I
have an hour this week,
you know,
you can learn 100 songs on the piano by learning.
What was that?
Aren't they all into real estate? They could buy the land if they want to. But obviously they want to hide something. Why else would you do everything underground? Like a rat.
I'm just saying, why is there mattresses in there that are stained? That's just, that should be a cause for question there. You know, like, it's one thing to have a tunnel, but then when you start finding, like, evidence in there of foul play,
yeah,
then, you know.
I saw that mattress. And, like, where the stain is like, obviously, you know, somebody lays there and they bleed, they're going to bleed.
That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that they're going crazy about
like defending
the whole. It's like, you know, like Sodom and Gomorrah or something. Yeah. It's just like they're just going crazy trying to break down the house.
It's like it's that they're implacable.
They're rabid.
Rabid.
Yeah, you would think like they'd kind of kowtow and just say we've been caught and we don't want to keep fighting it and make things worse.
Or they would want to cover it up or something.
Yeah, they're bold about it.
They're super bold because they know they control the media and stuff.
And they're not going to get touched.
Any way they want.
Any way
they can pay off the cops, probably.
Like what we're saying right now would be considered majorly anti-Semitic. You know, anti-Semitic pastor makes conspiracies about Jewish tunnels that lead to mikvahs, bath houses with bloody mattresses in there. Nothing happened. You know, it's just like weird. Mm-hmm. Man, it's so strange.
And they're really bold. They don't care at all. And a lot of those guys who are getting arrested too, you just see them smiling and laughing about it, and they're still doing the little bobbing and weaving about it.
Bobbing and weaving.
But they just, to me, it just seems like they know.
They're brazen. They're just brazen about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're super brazen about it.
They're just going to get let off the hook.
And someone told me that synagogue is questionable. I mean, all synagogues are questionable, bro. Like, come on, it's a synagogue.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think, and I can't prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is opinion. I don't know for sure that there's some sort of human trafficking that was probably taking place there. You know? You don't use that to expand. Some people said, oh, they built it during COVID. COVID's over, bro. That was 2020. We've never built tunnels to get to church.
Some people were saying too they were only digging for 6 months. Some said a year, and then some say during COVID time.
See what?
Just all these different.
Well, they're going to put out differing information and let the people just make a mess of it.
Yeah, and then just calls anti-Semite to whoever's.
Well, they're very fortunate that basically the vast majority of the population will just kind of believe whatever it is that they say.
By the end of this all, they're probably going to come out as the heroes, as the victims.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and people are just anti-Semitic for questioning anything about it.
I heard there's like tunnels under like Gaza, and it's like the same thing was going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. But we were talking about a passage in the Bible that is very similar to the actions of these Jews. Right?
Their MO.
Their MO. And it's a vision that God gave Ezekiel when he's showing him the greater abominations. Yeah, that's when I brought up the head.
Bring it out now.
I should bring it out now. Let me go ahead and read. Do you have the verses there? Oh, you do. What is it, Ezekiel? Yeah, there you go. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's read it from verse. I'll read verse number
7.
We'll read from verse 6. He said, furthermore unto me, son of man, seest thou what they do? Even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary. But turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. And he said unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, and abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery. For they say, The Lord seeth us not. The Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Man, I guess they're still doing the same thing, huh?
Yeah.
Digging,
Just what they do.
digging tunnels to do abominations. Digging tunnels to create abominable things, to participate in wicked things.
Yeah.
Why? Because they say the Lord seeth us not.
Yeah.
Ugh. Disgusting. And Ben Shapiro hasn't really said anything about this whole thing this entire time. I could be wrong. Look up if he said anything about the Jewish tunnels. Pretty much, there's nothing going on there. Just a bunch of young Jewish guys. I used to do the same thing when I was young or something. How come he's not speaking out against it? Or just covering it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. But it's basically symbolically representing what the Jews, according to the flesh, according to the Bible, do. What they do in dark places, tunnels, digging, permeating society with their abominations. Mm-hmm. There was this guy who was saying, for a while, he lived at the first floor or something, on the first floor or something. And he said for the longest time, he just kept hearing Jews, people speaking Yiddish, digging under his house or something. He's like, what in the world's going on? And it's crazy that they can just do that and not suffer any repercussions. The guys who got arrested, they're going to be released. They're already back on the streets of whatever.
I'm sure the judge and the attorney's probably Jewish, the DA.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably down there themselves.
The ancients. The elders.
Man, they're gonna get what's coming to them, though.
It's kind of it's one of those things that shows us that even though we have the internet, where just pretty much anything can be exposed, any move you do, anything you say can just be exposed. They could do the worst, and absolutely nothing happens.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane, And I'm telling you, you have Christian churches ever try something like that, do something like that? Oh man,
even something slightly out of code or something like that.
Yeah,
the city
they
will be all
bombed
over
our church. Look at what happened. Look at how they spun that story in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
how they were the victims and we're the perpetrators, even though we were bombed.
It's crazy.
And if some Christian church was digging something and they were caught, they definitely wouldn't be brazen enough to just be fighting the police over covering, putting cement in it. It's just crazy that they're just so bold about it to just, not only are they caught and they know nothing's going to happen, but then they'll fight police, not worried about it. They just cover it up. And then they know the media is just going to, and really, it seems like the media's just got all these different stories of what happened and these different facts, and no one's getting it really straight on what happened. And it's just going to blow over after a while. Yeah, because the information has become so convoluted, and there's so many different versions of it that people don't really know which one to believe, and after a while, they just lose interest. I've heard, apparently, on the Wikipedia article of this incident, and it's saying that the fire department found the tunnel, but then on different news coverages, it's saying that one of the I forget what they call it, but one of the Jewish leaders or whatever at the synagogue found out the tunnel and called the police on it.
Yeah, they're going to be
So-
the heroes. They're going to be the victims at the end of all this. So
What in the world?
And they're saying that the
Jewish
people who
stuff.
dug this were just like these extremist Jews that just did it, when no one, undercover and no
But then
one.
the other ones were saying that it was like teenagers that did it.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
just-
another version is just like, well, they hired people to come and dig this tunnel or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, no one's got their facts straight. And then it's just all these different ideas. All
who
these
is a
different stories.
liar? He that denied that Jesus is. The Jews are the best at creating the narrative.
Mhm.
Ever since the resurrection of Jesus Christ. They just pay people off and say, say that his disciples came by night and took him away, and we will secure you, He's like told the NYPD, say that a bunch of teenagers did it, and we'll cover you guys.
They love
like the
cover-ups.
NYPD are like the Romans of Jesus' day, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
it's just frustrating.
I'm not really frustrated. I mean, if I think about it quite too much, I can be, yeah. Because it's just kind of one of those things that's just like no justice. But you kind of wonder how Ezekiel felt when he saw that. It's like, this is happening in my own backyard. My leaders are participating in abominable things, And really what the chapter is about is that God's showing him
Yeah, God sees everything.
that he sees everything. He sees the inner recess of the heart. So no matter how well that tunnel was hid, God saw every single tunnel. He sees all the wickedness that's taking place there.
Yeah.
And they're treasuring up wrath against the day of wrath.
Well, just wondering what the Christian response is going to be.
Well, this is the
these
Christian
Jew
response. The Christian response is from us is like, it's wicked, it's suspicious. The truth fears no investigation.
Yeah.
So why did you cover it up so fast if nothing was happening? Why don't you go and investigate, the bloody mattress and whatever, the what is it, the
The high chair.
high chair and items that were in there, the destination and the people who did it. The FBI should get involved. That's the Christian response. And you say, why? Well, because of the fact that it's a Jewish synagogue. And synagogues are of Satan. That's what the Bible says.
Yep.
Jesus said that they're of the synagogue of Satan. So, it doesn't surprise me that these Nicolaitans are making holes from one place to another. And I don't think they were doing it to go do Bible studies
No.
or to get to the synagogue faster. It's a shortcut or something like that from the mikvah bath house to the synagogue. I just highly doubt that. It just seems like it's a very questionable thing. And, the fact that they covered it up so fast makes you more suspicious.
Absolutely.
And are
But
they ever
you're-
going to have a real story? Are they going to really figure out what actually happened?
No.
It's
No,
just
this-
funny too because it's everyone's asking all these questions and the media is like, oh, everyone's all these anti-Semitic comments. Well, why don't you have the official story of what happened?
Exactly.
And then we
Don't
can
ask
put
questions,
this to
Cody.
bed, yeah.
You're thinking too much.
Yeah.
They'll just put another Holocaust movie out like in a month. They'll just pull one out from the library like, oh, we haven't put this one out yet.
Netflix or something.
Yeah.
A new Holocaust survivor.
It was 6.1 million.
Yeah, I want to know what other... you're talking about the Zionist Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they going to say about it? Well, brother, there's a God's chosen people. Where there's a will, there's a way in a hole.
They're holy. Get it?
They're holy. They're God's holy people, brother.
Wow.
They walk in the path of righteousness. No, they don't. Anyways, at the end of the day, we don't know the full story. All we could do is speculate.
Probably
And
don't want to know. It's probably
Yeah.
so wicked. You're better not knowing.
I mean, if that's what happened with the monasteries, and the Catholics are pretty bad.
Yeah, just think
Catholic
what,
Church, just think of what the synagogue of Satan will do. Good night in the morning.
Mhm.
You could only imagine. And I'm just thinking, like, if it was just like a regular tunnel that led to, whatever, help you to get to the synagogue faster or whatever, why would you just throw such a huge fit about it? Why would you riot inside for, you know. But they're just brazen. They don't care. Oh man, I just yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
I wish I would have filled it up with concrete while the. Never mind. I cut it out.
I'm gonna have to cut that part out.
They wanted to be in their tunnel so bad.
They stay there forever.
Weird. And it doesn't help that they have a corrupt police system there too.
Yeah.
They always do things before it gets approved.
That's just one synagogue.
Oh,
There's so many synagogues out there.
And apparently this synagogue's a really, really big one, really popular. 770 is what it's called. It's like a really big synagogue. All these big rabbis go there.
That one? That specific one?
That specific one that had that tunnel. And then the Jewish leaders there, they claim that they had no idea that this tunnel was there. And it's just crazy. I mean, it'd be like you not knowing that there's some hole in this church,
right there, dude.
let alone one of the biggest synagogues.
What is that video of that guy crawling out of the sewer? Is that Master Splinter or what?
Jewish
you know what I'm talking
Ninja Turtle. Dreidels in a half shell.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
That has to do with the tunnel, right? That's a nice little symbol there. You know who made that for us? Louisa Kanzari designed that. What the heck is going on?
A hidden tunnel was discovered under a synagogue right in the heart of Brooklyn. Hard to believe, right?
No, it's
Let's dig deeper into the story.
Oh, very funny.
Directly to the tunnel.
Sorry, we're supposed to show an actual tunnel video. It all started when videos began circulating on social media, primarily on X, showing an altercation between Jewish Hasidic men and New York police following the discovery of a secret tunnel under the global headquarters of a Jewish movement named Chabad Lubavitch, commonly known as 770. The brawl began when the group's leaders dispatched cement trucks to seal the tunnel's opening, with no police presence inside. Proponents of the tunnel then turned violent and tore off wooden panels inside the synagogue. The police were only then called to the scene and arrested 9 people. The leaders refused to say when they found out about the tunnel, although word of their existence had been circulating around the community over the past few weeks, according to several worshippers. Those in favor of the tunnel said they were carrying out an expansion plan long envisioned by Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, a key figure in the movement. Some of the group's adherents believe that Schneerson, who died in 1994, is the Messiah and is still alive. Those who built the tunnel reportedly held this belief. They'd set out to carry out this expansion plan by connecting the synagogue to the whole empty space behind it, 21-year-old Zalmi Grossman said, adding that it was what the rabbi wants and what everybody wants. In February 2023, the founder of an initiative named Expand 770, Levi Jacobson, expressed the same desire and conviction.
The Rebbe urged that each and every Jew should participate physically and monetarily with expanding 770.
Following the brawl with the police, Mari Seligson, a spokesperson for the group, condemned the construction of the tunnel, describing it as an act of vandalism committed by a group of misguided and extremist young men. Although social media is filled with theories linking the tunnel to child trafficking, exactly why they were built and what they were used for remains a mystery.
Interesting.
Yeah, I see.
Secret tunnel.
I see a lot too with these videos. They try to make light of it, like it's just a joke. Like, oh, it's funny. It's like, what the heck is with these Jews? You know,
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
Jovial music.
It's like if they were
Goofy, it's
serious
making it
about
goofy.
like, hey, there's like this big investigation, they wouldn't be having that type of music being
Yep.
played. They're just playing it off like, oh, all these silly Jews. What are they digging this stupid tunnel?
Look,
Whatever.
we're supposed to show you a real hole, a real tunnel. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all intentional.
Oh yeah.
It's very intentional, you know?
They know how to spin a story.
Man, the media is just trash. You can't watch the news. You can't trust any source anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
People are even getting on like other guys like Joe Rogan because they're just he's not talking like serious like
He's
theories
joking
and
about
stuff.
it.
He's just joking about it and just
Well, it's because they probably the ones who run those companies tell them like, hey, we want you to talk about this, but you got to make like,
Well, the guy who signs his check probably tells him what to say.
yep. He says you got to make light of it. Make sure you joke about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's a nothing burger. Blah blah blah. That's crazy.
That's what they're just making this whole thing out to be.
They know how to manipulate the masses very well.
Yeah. Because that's what I hear with most of these people that are discussing this thing. It's just like, oh, it's funny. Social media, they got a lot of, they'll have the Mario music or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's
All
just
the while, there's like probably children being trafficked through there, being molested and raped, and like all types of wickedness is taking
It's like,
place.
oh, nothing to see here. It's just these silly, funny Jews that are doing something weird, but whatever. We just cover it up, and they're just silly Jews doing their weird religious practices. Nothing to see here.
It's crazy how something could be so open, on the open, and it's just like the king has no clothes on, but just like no one knows. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's crazy. But hey, that's the world we live in, you know what I mean? And if you don't have God, you don't have the Bible, you don't have Jesus Christ, you're not saved, man, that stuff would just drive you into a dark place, because of your need for justice to be carried out will never be satiated.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing with like the Son of Sam case. There's a guy who like researched that entire case. He exposed all of it. I mean, he found out a crazy amount of information, and he went deep into the occult of what they were involved in, and all the satanic things that were taking place, the sacrifices that they were doing, and justice was never served. And in fact, it like killed him. Like he ended up becoming very sick, and that's all he thought about till the very last breath, because he just was so frustrated and angry that justice was never served. And he went down this dark tunnel of conspiracy and all of these nefarious things that were taking place, and it just ate him up inside that justice was never served. And literally on his deathbed, he's still like telling people, hey, go talk to this person and investigate this individual. They're like, dude, you're dying. Like, you should just let it go. Like, these are your last moments. You're going to die. And he became like a very bitter, angry, unhealthy person because of it. You think about people who just like, they go into these rabbit holes. Like, you could go down pretty deep into these rabbit holes. And if you're not saved, it's just going to
stay there.
Yeah, it'll destroy you. It'll destroy you. That's why the Bible says to be wise concerning good and simple concerning evil.
Yeah.
Because it can drive a righteous man mad. That justice is not being carried out in our lifetime. We're not seeing it. You know what I mean? But when you put your faith in the fact that God, the righteous one, the judge of all the earth, will do right, it's just like these guys are going to get what's coming to them. I can wait. You know what I mean? I'll wait upon the Lord.
Yeah.
Because we know that he's going to do it. But obviously it's important to talk about it, though.
Yeah.
So as to, not... to explain to our audience that we're not ignorant of what's going on. This is what's possibly taken. This is what the Bible says. But at the end of the day, don't go down that rabbit hole too far, because you'll find yourself in a very dark abyss.
Yeah.
Same thing with people who follow like politics, and they're excited about Trump taking office. Dude, he probably has his own tunnels.
Trump tunnels.
Trump tunnels. Trumples. Yeah. For sure. And they think he's going to fix everything. They think everything's going to go back to normal. And it's just like, man, to put your faith in the arm of the flesh is crazy.
Yeah.
Should never be done. But anyways, the Jews in their tunnels, my friends. And we'll see if anything else comes about this particular story. But wanted to chime in on that, and I felt like it was a good idea for our first episode. Amen. And just what the Bible has to say about that. And so, because this came up recently, it basically fits the biblical narrative of,
How the Jews are like.
Yeah. Of how the Jews operate, what they're like, and, they're still up to no good up to this day.
And those are the church-going Jews.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Well, folks, that's pretty much it for episode number 1. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Of course, you can watch the full episodes here on Rumble. And by the way, let me just say this. If you're watching this on Rumble, why haven't you subscribed to it? I mean, you're watching already. Just click the follow button. That's all you got to do. I know this episode is going to hit at least 1,000 views, but the problem is we only have like 720 followers. So some of you are not following yet. So just follow, hit that green, ugly-looking button right there on Rumble. Follow there. You can also follow on Spotify. This will be